Taking your calls on 606 tonight, Ray Stubbs.
And let's hear from some of the Liverpool fans on the line. Evening, Chris.
Hiya, Ray. You all right?
What was so different about Liverpool tonight?
I can tell you exactly what was so different about Liverpool tonight, Ray. It was the team selection. The team selection was why we won the match tonight. If you pick good players, for example, centre-forwards who know how to put the ball in the net, midfielders who know how to pass the ball, then you have a chance of winning a football match. If you pick pathetic, useless, waste of space, excuse of a footballer type of players like Kaut and Sissoko, you're not going to win a football match. Take, for example, Blackburn on Saturday night. I was there. You pick two players like that. Kaut missed about 3 open goals, effectively. We didn't win the game. Tonight you had a lad, and I'm not the greatest fan of Peter Crouch, but compared to Kaut, you know, Crouch is Diego Maradona, because really, Dirk Kuyt, I mean, surely Rafa must realise now that Dirk Kuyt should never, ever play for Liverpool ever again, because the difference in the team tonight, the confidence, Sissoko's another one. He should never play again. We had Gerrard down the middle, we had quality player like Benayoun who can keep the ball, and we had a centre-forward who can put the ball in the net, and then we had substitutions that were positive and effective. And that's the difference tonight, Ray. I'm delighted. Hats off to Rafa, because I've given him some stick recently, but tonight he's picked the right team, he's had the right result. Now we need to continue on that vein and not pick the garbage like Kaut and Sissoko.
Well, how will you react if I say I think that is incredibly harsh on Kaut?
All I'd say, Ray, is watch the last 10 minutes of the game at Blackburn and realise that that man, singularly, Dirk Kuyt, has possibly lost us all momentum and all chance to win the championship this season, because look at them chances you missed at Blackburn. He looked totally out of place. I mean...
What about the penalties in the Derby match?
Ray, penalties, 12 yards, professional footballer, 20, 30,000 pound a week. Come on, I mean, I'll give you, St John, Keegan, Rush, Beardsley, Dalglish, Kaut. Are we having a laugh here? Do you know what I mean? Is he up to standard? No, he isn't. Is he up to scratch? Kaut makes Voronin look good, and that's saying something, because Voronin, I mean, he had a decent game tonight, but come on, he's not Liverpool class either. We've got Crouch who's decent, Torres is world class. Let's pick our best players. Let's try and resurrect our season. Do not select, I would just plead with Rafa, because Sissoko, the new Vieira, you must be joking, the new Carlton Palmer, I think.
Chris, thanks very much.
Talking of unpopular managers, Chris in Liverpool, you're a Liverpool fan.
Yeah, I am, Spoody. Yeah, I was at the match yesterday. I want to talk about Benitez and the board situation.
Yes.
But personally, having been at the match yesterday, I witnessed a crime against football, a crime against everything that Liverpool Football Club stands for, and that is the performance of Mohamed Sissoko.
Yeah.
Sissoko yesterday disgraced our club, disgraced himself, disgraced the red shirt, disgraced the Liver Bird. And if he plays for Liverpool again, if Rafa Benitez is listening to this, Mohamed Sissoko should be shown the door tomorrow morning, full stop, no negotiation, no arguments about it. I mean...
Chris, let me just ask you here, Chris. What is it that you think was so disgraceful?
His touch, his technique, his inability to keep the ball, his headless chicken running around the pitch, everything that he did yesterday. If it wasn't, we beat Newcastle with 10 men effectively.
Now, Chris, the only reason I asked you that question, is because he obviously, from seeing yesterday's game, there was another game as well this season that it's just slipped past me. But from watching yesterday, it seems to me that he's not quite up to the task, ability-wise.
He isn't. He shouldn't play.
Now, talking disgraceful, I don't think he's ever been found wanted for his determination or for his drive, but his simple ability is not good enough for Liverpool.
He's not, and thanks, Spoody, because I know we have to defend players on occasions, but yesterday, that was a disgrace. He was laughing. Newcastle fans were laughing at him, and I mean, they had enough to laugh at themselves yesterday. Sissoko, out of the club, should never play for Liverpool ever again. The other thing I wanted to say was, Rafa, I think, needs to keep his head down and stop agitating with the board. I mean, if he's agitating over Mascherano, he's hardly Ray Kennedy or John Barnes. Do you know what I mean? The board backed him this summer. The board have a vision for the club. Rafa's vision has to be coach the team, win football matches. Stop moaning. Liverpool managers and Liverpool as a club have never washed their dirty linen in public like this, Spoony, have they? This is unprofessional.
Not to my knowledge, Chris. It's the first time, like you said. Thanks very much for your call. Chris in Liverpool.
Hiya, Spoony. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good.
Spoony, I just want the breaking news, I think a week on Monday could be, next Sunday could be Rafa Benitez's last match in charge of Liverpool. And for someone like myself, I think it might be good riddance, because last night was an absolute and utter shambles and disgrace. And it was because of his team selection yet again. You know, it's not as if we've got bad players. It's not as if we haven't got the players to win that match last night. Yet he plays Peter Crouch on the left wing. He persists in playing that donkey Sissoko, who shouldn't even wear a Liverpool shirt, and Voronin, who again isn't good enough. And we lose that match yesterday. Had we won yesterday, we were right in the thick of the title race. Now we go to Marseille, and come on, Spoonie, I know you're a Red. In all reality, do you see us winning in Marseille? And in all reality, do you see us winning against United? The answer to both of those questions is an emphatic no. We have a
Chris, are you asking me or telling me what I'm thinking?
Well, because I know for a fact, Spoonie, I know for a fact we will not beat United next Sunday. And Benitez is going to come on the interviews after the game, after a defeat or a draw, and make excuses. And one of the myths that I want to bury out there is that all Liverpool fans are a bunch of Benitez lovers. We're not. That march was a falsehood. 2,000 people. I can tell you now, Spoonie, if we lose next Sunday, there'll be a different march. It'll start at the Kemlyn Road, come round to the main stand, Benitez out.
Well, Chris, I think there's a couple of things there, because, you know, if Liverpool win on Tuesday and get into latter stages of the Champions League, and if they beat Manchester United on Sunday, then what a long week in football it's been.
Yeah, well, quite, but the fact is, Spoonie, that ain't going to happen, because Benitez, in big matches like that, big league matches, can we please forget about Istanbul and the 2 victories over Chelsea? Can we look at our league performance? This is the man who's presided over defeats against Crystal Palace, Bolton, 3-0 at Goodison, Reading. I mean, Reading. Come on.
Chris, stay there. I'm going to have a quick word from Izzy. Stay there.
Well, this is from Dan in Manchester, who says, throwing away 3 points against Premiership also ran a squad exposed as vulnerable once changes are made. Wenger has to go. Oh, sorry, it's only Benitez who suffers that kind of hysterical reaction. That's the accusation coming from Dan in Manchester, Chris.
But I don't think it is hysterical, and this is we have to analyse the last 3.5 seasons now. Take away the Champions League. Can people out there wake up, and Liverpool supporters, I plead with you, forget Istanbul. Forget all about it. Let's look at the league results over the last 3 seasons, last 4 seasons, and look at the team selection. Liverpool supporters, you remember Isvan Kozma. I mean, you might remember that name, Spoonie. Mohamed Sissoko is even worse than Isvan Kozma. Yes, he persists in playing him. Mohamed Sissoko should never wear the red shirt ever again.
But Chris, Mohamed Sissoko last season, he had a fantastic season. So what's gone wrong? I mean, does he completely bomb him? Does he sell him out the squad? Does he wait for him to come back into form? You know, Xavier Alonso's injured. I tell you what, I will say though, Chris, I was very impressed with the way that Mascherano and Gerrard played together. Why has he changed that? Why did he change Livio from the week before?
Spoonie, tell me, right, last night, if we had played Mascherano and Gerrard in midfield, Babel right, Kewell left, Torres and Crouch up front, would we have lost that match in your opinion?
Well, the thing is, Chris, you never can tell, but I would have been much happier if Liverpool had started with their best 11 playing in positions that they know. You know, Voronin as a right winger, surely that's not what Liverpool bought him for.
Well, exactly. And is it a requisite, is it a requirement of being a professional footballer, Spoonie, that if the ball's driven to you, you should be able to control it? Because if it is, Mohamed Sissoko fails every single time. The man is a joke. He is a joke. Get him out.
Chris, thank you very much for your call. I mean, what I will say...